You guys thought I'd be done with this run by now. Probably. I don't know. How many hours have I been doing? Nope, we're not saving. 5... almost 6 hours. Almost 6 hours of this run. Whew. So, let's see. For anybody that... oh, there's like a gnat creature in my room. It's probably what's been biting me, unfortunately. So, for anybody joining me now... and wasn't, like, missed the beginning parts of this run, I'm ridiculously powerful. We're technically not as far as we were with that warrior that one time. I think that time we got up to, like, 75? Give or take. We got really far. We got really far in. And then I lost the save file. This time around, I'm making backups upon save files upon whatever. But, this is by far the most overpowered run I've ever done. By a significant margin. Now, if you remember from the last episode, I did not have Mana Steel. I was bemoaning the fact that I got rid of my Mana Steel gauntlets. And you may be wondering, Wanderbot, how did you get Mana Steel? What did you do? Did you cheat? Did you learn how to cheat in this game? The answer is no. I actually forgot to save the last time at the end of the run. Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys can see the cursor and stuff. Qwerty, don't unfollow me. That makes me sad. But so, I actually forgot to save. So, I had to redo between levels, I think, Crypts 15 and Crypts 34. It was kind of a long process. And I found nothing but Mana Steel claws for, like, an entire floor. I found 4 of them. It was ridiculous. So now we've got Mana Steel claws. I also figured out something new about the turbo punch about this game. Pouncing Cheeto, define cool stuff. Because honestly, cool stuff has just kind of been a consistent thing with this run. At least as far as I'm concerned. But, no, we are certifiably ridiculous. But you know what I found out? You can actually hold down the attack key. So I don't actually have to keep mashing the button here. Which is actually really nice. Because I can just sit here punching, Gatling punching, all day long. Truly, all day long. Alright, this is awkward. I always hate it when they put a shrine right here. Because I'm totally just gonna mess it up the moment, you know, I attack. So I've just gotta keep float jumping this until all of the zombies are dead. Because I want that Shrine of Blood. So I've pretty much perfected the process at this point as well. Where all I have to do, as far as the Shrines of Blood goes, is like just sack all the way down in the beginning, and then slowly make my mana back to heal back up to full. Trying to leave like 30 health, because that's usually the extent of like how much health I can deal with. Hey, there's a short bow. There are 2 items that I currently have not God Cursed to me. By the way, I have not God Cursed my boots, and I have not God Cursed my bow. I'm kind of hoping that I can get a homing bow, just because it's going to make the abomination that much easier. That said, the current horizontal bow is doing a beautiful job. And yes, we are running on all of the steroids. You know what, let's get over the shrine, sack some health here. And I might as well actually show off how many stat points I have. So let's see, we've also got 7,000 gold. So if we can find a Shrine of Light directly next to a Shrine of Blood, we will be in a really good position. And Satanic Jesus is talking about The Witcher 3 with a very happy face. I find out tomorrow if I get a review copy of Witcher 3. And I'm hoping, with my newly achieved 4,000 subs, we hit that earlier this morning? Mid-afternoon? I'm not entirely sure, I wasn't paying attention. I just looked over and I was 4,002, and I was just like, shit. I wanted to screenshot that. But, so... If the Witcher people... What is it? Shoot. CD Red Project are happy, like, are feeling generous, I'll be getting a, I hope, early copy of The Witcher. I just realized I had 6 HP. That's probably not a good... Like, honestly, I'm nigh on invincible, but that's still dangerous. Especially if I accidentally hit some spikes, because those can still do 5 damage to me. Albeit rarely. But yeah, I find out tomorrow. I mentioned a couple days ago that I got a webcam. I might be doing facecam for, like, the Friday stream. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, then I've probably already integrated it into my workflow and stuff like that. But, yeah, but back to The Witcher, seeing as I'm a huge RPG fan. I never really liked the Witcher games for the most part. I always felt like they were just a little bit too... I'm going to say edgy, but that's not really the right word to give for them. They were just always a bit too grim, and I never liked the combat in the first one. And the second one, it was okay, but it wasn't, like, tremendous. But the third one looks like they fixed all of those problems, and I'm, like, super excited to be playing that one when I get the chance. So at this point, okay. At this point, we can actually just read these books. As well identify the bow, and homing arrows, okay. So, goodbye stat stick bow. We have gotten, I think we now have everything. Now, I have learned a couple of things. Mainly, once you get this far into the game, you are swimming in really good equipment. So if you can actually hold off on god cursing items, it actually almost becomes a moot point. From what I can tell, because, like, I god cursed my... Oop. I god cursed my fist weapon, which is like a Cestus, which is actually the lowest level one. And, like, its stats are barely went up, like, maybe by 1s, 2s, and 3s. Because the base stats were so high. Like, it had a baseline 9 speed and stuff like that. Oh, okay. Have fun with that pouncing Cheeto. Let's see. So for people watching this live, docket for the night is Vagante, Catacomb Kids, Space Rogue, Invisible Incorporated, and I don't know what from there. Maybe more Force 2, maybe Binding of Isaac, I don't know. Probably play some Endless Legend. I actually forgot to put out a video for Endless Legend today. Whoops. Still, not the end of the world. And thank you, Shine of Flight. Hey. Oh, interesting. So no matter what, I would have needed to bust up this wall just because there's no other... What? Where's the exit? Oh, we've already been to the exit. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. Let's see. Oh, you're still alive, and we are taking damage, so I gotta be careful. Okay, so I've already visited that. We might as well take the book. Let's go stack our health down. So, I know at this point we're already pretty freaking ridiculous, but at the same time, I wanna just keep stacking all of my stats, because I kind of want to see how much damage I can do, and also just want to, like, just run things over. Oh, man. Axiom Verge is one of those that I would like to play at some point, but I should probably actually just sit down and email the developers and see if I can review their game. It seems like now that I'm at, 4,000 subscribers, actually seems like a lot of developers are just more than willing to hand me AAA games or pseudo AAA or at least fairly well-to-do games, which is kind of nice. Okay, so let's just sack the rest. There we go. That's a fine point. 14 health to make it to the exit. Can I do it? Oh, yeah. And even if I got hit here, it wouldn't hurt me at all. Let's see. I know what you're doing. Steroids! Yes! I am drug-addled. Speaking of, I actually failed to deliver on a promise. Let's currently heal up just for a second. Because, well, honestly, don't want to be sitting around with 16. So at this point, I have 172 strength, 162 defense, 21 vitality. Hello! 21 vitality, 35 intelligence, 37 luck, 92 defense. Yep. Do I mean the term premium indie? I guess that's the point. Yeah, so those are my stats. I really wish there was actually a counter for my speed stat, because that's actually really ridiculously high from what I can tell. But do I mean premium indie or AA? Honestly, it's kind of a bit of both. With, like, review copies and stuff. I got Dying Light, which was nice. I got Dungeons 2, which I guess that's a AA title, not a AAA title. Though, comparatively, it's not indie. At least not nearly as indie as, like, this game is. This game was made by, what, 5 people? Whereas, is Calypso Entertainment considered AAA? Because they're big enough to be as such, even if they're, technically not as famous. Also, I can just roll straight through shopkeepers right now, which is kind of funny. But, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of developers are more likely to give me stuff now, which is nice. And honestly, that probably sounds super mercenary for, like, a lot of people. But it means a lot to me who barely has any kind of an income. And I don't think I talked about this, but I did actually run into an issue today. Yeah, Calypso's the people that made Tropico. I don't remember what else they made. They made Tropico and they made the Dungeon series. I need to pay more attention to what exactly they've made along the way. Unfortunately, they were never really on my radar prior to YouTube, and now I just know about them because they're fairly YouTube friendly. But so, annoying thing happened to me earlier today. Kind of both annoying and not so annoying. Well, no, it's supremely annoying, but there's a silver lining. So, I don't think I mentioned this anywhere, but somebody's been going around on the internet pretending to be me to try and get free copies of video games. I don't know how well it's working, because, you know, I only find out about the ones that fail, because the developers try and verify my identity. But, like, there's been a person, who's been emailing developers, you know, pretending to be me, being like, you know, I'm poor and can't afford these games. Oh, crap. Well, nah, that doesn't screw me in the slightest. But, so, he's been pretending to be me and, you know, trying to get games. So, last week I got a email from the developer of Software Incorporated. Interesting. That's a weird coincidence. So I got an email from the developer of Software Incorporated, where he's like, you know, this doesn't seem right, like the email address is wrong. I'm like, yep, that's not me. That's not my name, that's not me. And, you know, I told him do not give that person a copy, for obvious reasons. But so, effectively, actually a week later, I wonder if this person does it on a weekly basis. Try, impersonation on a weekly basis. I'd love to figure out how powerful Lifesteal is, but it is too late. But so this person impersonated me, asked for a copy of Software Incorporated, and fails. And then they... oh, crap. That's the blood shrine. And I cannot punch anywhere close to it. Luckily, I can butt stomp right here and not have to worry about it. But so... well, Wand of Digging is useless, in retrospect. But let's see. Let's dump this here. Did I start dropping frames or something? No, chat just got real quiet. I guess you guys are listening to me. But so, get an email today from Clay Entertainment. If you don't know who Clay is, they're the people that made Shank, Mark of the Ninja, Don't Starve Together, Don't Starve, and most recently, Invisible Incorporated. So... they were also asking to, like, verify who I am. And I'm like, well, that's not me, but I'd totally take a copy of Invisible Ink to review. So we're going to be playing that later tonight. But, I don't know, there's some baseline level of just, like, just extreme dickishness to impersonate a YouTuber just to get a free copy of a game. And like I understand why some people probably do it, because it's easy money or it's an easy way of getting a free game, but like, holy shit, like how desperate do you have to be to pretend you're somebody that you're not just to get a free copy of a game? And my bet is it's somebody, you know, from Europe, from probably Russia, I don't know, who just does this sort of as a living. I've heard of people managing to make a fair amount of money from this. Do I wanna? You know what? Let's do this. Just so I can actually kind of focus on what I'm talking about. Oh, get a random question. Why does it feel like when I'm watching the Force 2 videos that I've missed several episodes? Does Wander play it a lot off camera or on stream and not making videos of it? So Sniper GW, the Force 2 series. Every time they patch the game, I actually scrap all videos from the previous patch, because, I don't want people getting confused by inappropriate information. So, there are a lot of videos that I stream, and don't, there are a lot of videos that I've streamed that I don't manage to get up in time. And then the patch comes out, and then I just have to throw it away. Maybe I'll do, like, some kind of crazy backlog thing, but I really don't have much of an option in this situation, which kind of sucks. Yeah, this isn't so bad. But, I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of I'm just kind of offended because I don't like impersonation for obvious reasons, but it just seems so callous to like try and piggyback off of somebody else's success for honestly a pittance. A pittance amount of money or a pittance of video games. Like Invisible Ink is $20. And effectively you're stealing these games. Like piracy is better than this, which is the ridiculous thing. Cuz when you pirate a game, you're effectively just saying, you know, no, I'm not going to pay you money, developer, for your game that you worked hard on. And, you know, in some cases, I can see some people's justification. Like, when I was 12, I had, like, an allowance of $20 a month. There was no way I was gonna buy... shoot, what was the game I pirated when I was 12? KOTOR. I think I pirated the original KOTOR, which I now own, like, 7 copies of. So, I guess that paid them dividends in the end anyway. But, you know, as a 12-year-old, I just did not have the money to pay for KOTOR. So I pirated it. And, like, that's about as legitimate as I can think of. Apart from somebody in a third world country where the game is actually blocked. So, looking at you, Germany, and probably Australia. But when you impersonate me, when you impersonate any YouTuber for that matter, you're not only stealing from me, because you're potentially taking away a review copy for a game that I want to review. Though, honestly, if I ever get to a situation where a developer's like, I already sent you a game, it's not going to turn out well for the person whose key, you know, got stolen, you know, the illegitimate key. Because developers can actually shut that shit down, which is actually kind of cool. The developer, I believe for Age of Wonders, I could be wrong about this. I think it was Age of Wonders was talking about this. And that they actually went through and figured out which ones weren't legitimate somehow. And just shut down an insane amount of these keys. Like 6,000. Something like that. Which is nonsensical. Like, I understand why this is, like, lucrative. Because say you steal a key for Age of Wonders. Which I think is, like, $30 normally. And you resell it for $20. You've just made $20 for the effort of sending an email, and you can have effectively just a template email that you send out to people. But so what they did was once they found out that, you know, they have this whole list of keys that they figured out went to illegitimate resellers, they shut them all down. And so what does that mean for you? If that means you ever bought, like, a game from G2A, and it was kind of from one of the shadier vendors, and, like, maybe it activates, but, you know, say, maybe not I could do, but say Clay in this situation could do, is actually shut your key down, and you'd really have no legal protection, just because, you know, you bought stolen goods. I'm sure there's, like, some level of legality to, like, your claim, and I remember there was a huge hullabaloo about this, about the gray market, like, a couple weeks ago. I was reading about it, and a lot of people were like, but what if our game gets removed? And it's just like, maybe you shouldn't have bought from the gray market. I don't know. It's like if you buy a car from, like, a really shady dude for super cheap. Like, what did you expect you were gonna get? You know, a mint condition Mazda that, you know, doesn't have drugs in the fender, and you're just kind of the fall guy, so they can steal it back from you and then call the cops on you for having drugs? Uh-oh, what is this? That's weird, it, like, alt-tabbed. Oh, see ya, Cordy. Have a good one. But I should probably stop scumming at some point. I want to get up to 200 strength first. That'll be my stopping point here. But, I don't know. It's dumb. The whole situation is dumb. And it offends me. I don't think it will ever stop offending me. But it seems like the industry is kind of slowly shifting away, effectively, where, like, the developer himself, I mean, hunted me down, found my email address, and was like, is this you, effectively? And, like, this is just a small indie developer doing this sort of thing. And And for me, that was actually really nice, because it's like, alright, so it means that most people probably aren't getting screwed here. It's just a very unfortunate few that probably don't realize what's going on. But, let's see. Oh, we've reached the end of Scum. Let's get out of here. What is our strength at? 202. Yes. Oh, see you, Satanic Jesus. Good luck on that AP test. Yeah. Probably running a low night just because everybody's doing APs and tests and school. And maybe Birdcatcher's competing with me. I have no idea if he's streaming right now. That would make sense considering most of my usuals would be over there. Like, purple, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I'm indignant that I'm being impersonated. And I'm indignant that somebody would resort to this above anything else. Because honestly, get a job, become a YouTuber, do the work, eventually get your own free games, because it's, I mean, once you get to this point, practically, I got 10 games this week. I bought one of them. Which, I mean, probably seems like kind of selfish and, like, entitled if, to some people, probably. But at the same time, like, if I bought every single game that I reviewed, I would be super poor, as opposed to mostly quite poor. I don't know. But, so for example, today I got a review copy for Space Rogue. Game's $30, which is ridiculous. Like, honestly, I'm all for, like, indie titles being, charged, you know, people charging a fair amount for indie titles. But at the same time, $30 for any indie game, it's usually got to be, like, a damn good indie game to drive that kind of bargain. I'm not entirely sure if, like, a FTL clone, sort of, is worthy of that price tag. But so, you know, buying that game, which is totally going to be like a consistent series for me, that would have hurt, wallet-wise. I ended up buying Torin because I thought it was worth it. Ultimately, turns out it wasn't. I'm actually really bad at making distinctions like that. Oh yeah. So that is the question. Did I shut the person down? That was impersonating me. Unfortunately, the only thing I can do is report their email address for fraud. And it kind of is a thing on Google. There is a page for reporting, like, another email address for being fraudulent. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, Google has, no interest in solving the problem. Or at least, no sense of haste. I sent them screenshots, you know, full proof, like 3-paragraph email being like, yo, this person's impersonating me, like, please shut them down because it's not fair. I've heard nothing back from Google, so I'm assuming that they're just sitting on it until, you know, somebody can get on it. But then again, I think part of the problem is Google actually has, of all of the companies in the world, Google, well, not in the world, but, like, especially in the tech industry, Google actually has one of the worst tech support systems ever. In fact, they almost don't have customer service. They really don't have, you know, tech support for basic end users. It's there, and you can access it, but good luck getting it to work. They're mostly interested in, like, you know, developing further, and then fixing the problem silently. But they don't, like, fix individual cases, they just try and fix the overall problem. And so, like, you could have, like, issues with your email address for years. Like, I actually had to scrap one of my original email addresses because every single email that I ever received went straight to the spam folder. And this is before their spam filter was particularly good. So I was getting tired of Viagra advertisements next to my, you know, crucial school emails. It was not fun. But, I don't know. And, like, I can talk about the whole Space Rogue being worth $30 thing versus not $30 thing when I'm actually playing Space Rogue tonight. That said, like, I don't know. I guess I'll sort of talk about it. As long as I enjoy the game, I guess it's not so bad. And that's kind of the point. Like, if you can have a fun with the game, the price tag is probably worth it. And the nice thing is, roguelikes almost always will be worth their weight in time. If not anything else. Which is kind of nice. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to the development of that game. I'm looking forward to the development of a lot of things. God, This game is still in alpha. Can you believe it? This game's still in alpha. Freaking Force 2 is still in alpha. Hey, we found the Healy, the Sacrifice Shrine. Hey, Satari. How's it going? Like, I don't know. Early access is a cool thing. I get really excited about early access along the way. Because a lot of people get, like, really salty about early access. I'm thinking of, oh, space-based DF9. Raise your hands if you have space-based DF9 in chat. Oh, not the game in chat, your hands in chat, even though you guys don't have hands. To post deck, I do read this. It's easier if you do, like, an @wanderbot, if you want me to respond, though. Because sometimes chat goes by pretty fast. But, yeah, it looks like I'm doing well. Yeah, this run is ridiculous. I'm aiming for Crips 50, if not 60 tonight. But I really should pick up the pace. I'm just scumming here because I want to do 200 damage punches. Let's see, let's just sack all this down. I guess I'm going to have to use a potion of regeneration here to actually get all the points that I've earned. But then again, I'm swimming in them. So there's that. Let's see. Let's drink this. Probably should have drank that after I started sacking here, but whatever, it's no big deal. But, like, this is one of the most complete alphas I have ever played. Hands down. Did I enable the less delayed Twitch chat setting? There's this... What? That's new. I have not heard about that. Well, that's cool. I'll have to take a look at that, because I would love it if chat wasn't super delayed all the time. Can I use some of these? Let's get a heal. Yeah. Okay, that's all the sacking I'm gonna do today. I should probably just get out of here. I'm gonna have to retool my settings. I'll definitely have that setting set up for Catterday tomorrow. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff for Catterday tomorrow. Or, not Catterday. Not Catterday tomorrow. I'm getting my days mixed up. Stuff like that. 33% reduction on average. That's useful. Must be set before starting the stream. Well, in that case, tonight I will not be setting it just because. I got 17 bomb arrows. I should use them for something. Unfortunately, I can't aim down, so there's that. Will I be playing the Chromo Squad? Unfortunately, to post deck, I will not be playing Chroma Squad. Because I finished it. That's kind of the unfortunate part. Like, whenever I'm like streaming anything, I tend to like binge a game out, especially Chroma Squad. So I finished that like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still putting up YouTube videos on it, and I will for the next week. And so, hello Ghost. I'm not afraid of no Ghost, but at the same time, don't want to deal with it. This is like the ultra casual. This is like ultra casual night. So if anybody's looking for like real Vagante, expect that in a couple of days, unfortunately, because I'm trying to get as far as I can in this run, and this is also just easy kind of relaxing stuff, because honestly, Catcomb Kids is frustrating. Let's see. Yeah, 260 mana, 360 mana, 260. God. We are ridiculous. This is my best run that I've ever done. Hands down. Wow, it's not even making, like, it's not even slowing me down because I'm one-shotting everything. This is great. I should probably also see if I can get my hands on, well, start using the Shrine of the Deranged here. Just because the Shrine of the Deranged you can sack items to, and eventually maybe get some intelligence from it. It's rare, though, but it would be nice. Interestingly enough, the map is identified for some mysterious reason. No idea why. Oh, you done goofed. I two-shot him. Looks like he's got about 500 health, I want to say. 450? Might only be 400, it's hard to tell. But, he did not live through that. Suffice to say. I just wish I moved faster while punching. Because that is the one thing that we don't have. That all of the other characters have. We are very slow, movement-wise. We are very fast murder-wise, and it's kind of an interesting distinction. I guess if I wanted to, I could try and find some boosts of speed again. Use a Game Genie to hacks this game. Yeah, I don't even need to do that. This is complete legit. I am a cheater when the cheating is hilarious. I am not a cheater when the cheating is boring. Or I am a cheater when cheating saves me a hell of a lot of time. I'm thinking about, like, inventory space in games. God, I hate inventory space limits in games. Like, actually, of games, that is probably one of the most reviled mechanic, in my opinion. Like, I hate it. No game should have, like, really, really limiting inventory slots. It's just not fun. Like, I guess it kind of makes sense for MMOs, just because after a certain point, things become unsustainably, like, over full, so you really don't want to be carrying around all those items. But at the same time, like, I'm a smart enough cookie to know that I don't want to be carrying around 700 items in my backpack. And there's no real reason for me to have to go back to town just to sell things periodically every 20 minutes. Like, let me finish the run. Looking at you, Phantasy Star Online, but then again, that game is what? 15 years old at this point, so I guess it's a bit of a moot point. But, so, let's see. Will I play Vagante online with viewers when the patch comes out? Probably not. This gets asked very frequently. And unfortunately, the way it would work is Vagante only has a player cap of 4. And currently, looking at this live, we have 32 people watching. And then if you go back and look at the videos on YouTube later, there's like 300 views. You know, whittle that down to about another 60 people. That's 90 people that probably want to play with me. That's the hard part. Because there's no easy way to deal with that, save for doing something that isn't Vagante. Because as much as I would like to please everybody, there's just no time. So my deal is, and I've reiterated this practically every single time I'm like on one of these kind of weirdo rant episodes, is pretty much just like, unfortunately, I have to limit, kind of artificially, to people that actually have some level of YouTube chops so I can actually use the footage. Because the other factor is time. I simply do not have time to play with everybody that ever wants to play with me. Which is I mean, it's a darn shame. And, like, someday I will do some kind of, like, group game session. I keep saying I'm gonna do this. Have enough arrows in there, Fists of Fury. No. No. We need, like, I don't know. More. I should probably start using them. Whoa, really? That place is empty. The problem is I can't use arrows in here. Because I'm gonna blow up shrines if I do, because they home straight in. And I one-shot. I one-shot shrines, which kind of sucks, actually. Fists of Fury. I mean, I've got a wolf head. I could casually assume that I have slightly hairy fists, even though I am a lady. I am not a dainty little flower. So, I mean, maybe no chest hair, but definitely, like, hairy arms. That's a thing, right? Jesus Christ, we just destroy. Women can have hairy arms. Actually, I know that for a fact. I've dated, actually, almost exclusively women with hairier arms than usual. I remember this because every single one of them has been overly self-conscious about hairy arms. At which point oh, you know why? I have really blonde hair on my arms, so I think every woman I have ever dated, or, you know, am engaged to or whatever, has dark hair. Because every person I've ever dated has always had dark brown, if not black hair. And as a result, they have really hairy looking arms in comparison, because I'm super blonde in comparison. I'm not even that blonde. I have, like, kind of dirty blonde-ish. Dirty blonde brown, kind of depends on the lighting. And they just get self-conscious. Wow, I never thought about that. That's it. Have you ever thought about doing Drawful? Yeah, I've thought about doing Drawful. I don't know how I'd do it with fans, because the delay would be bad. You know what? Maybe with the new delay things along the way. But, I could do the Jackbox Party Pack for a stream night. Unfortunately, the other problem is, I'm, also, to post deck, I will get to your thing in a second, but, The problem is, I'm going away for a week at the end of the month. I've mentioned this a couple of times, so I'm trying to get as much backlog as possible. So playing, like, any kind of non-recorded thing is going to be largely impossible to do. Then again, I guess, since nobody's commentating, it would be kind of fun anyway. Just got, like... Oh, but Drawful stops at, like, 8 people. That's limiting. I think there's, like, some other games in that pack, though, that are kind of okay. But, I don't know. Rock the dark arm care. What do I care? Wait, dark arm hair. What do I care? That's always my stance. I don't care if you have hairy arms or anything like that. I don't know. I always feel kind of bad for people that have, like, physical traits that they've picked up that they don't like. Because, like, I'm not even going to say, like, being the wrong gender, because that's, like, a whole different pickle. But, like, I mentioned in Cavern Kings a while back about a girl that I knew that had, like, if she didn't shave it, a fair mustache. And I was just like, I realize that this is just the cards you've been dealt, but, like, I feel just infinitely bad for you. Because that's just a sad thing to have to do. I've known, like, oh man, I have one friend who, wonderful woman. She's a really good artist and, like, really fun to hang out with. She also has the least ladylike proportions I have ever seen on a human being. It's insane. And I feel really bad for her, because she, you know, has had no luck, you know, even getting a single boyfriend in life, because she's just not feminine in the slightest. I think part of it is, like, inaction and stuff like that, but I always feel bad for her as a result. I don't know, I feel kind of like a dick for even thinking with these things. Wow, we've already maxed out our mana along the way. Let's get out of here. But I don't know, maybe that's just me trying to be compassionate, but, like, not knowing how to do it, because it's like, apart from, actually, you know what, I technically do have some level of, like, not physical deformities, but I've got freaking bald spots on my chin and my actually, really, it's just my chin. I've got one right where, like, right below where you'd have a soul patch. So I have, like, this kind of weird, incomplete looking beard right now. So if and when I do the face cam thing, when I do the face cam thing, I'm going to be shaven. Let's see, what does unladylike proportions mean here? Broad shoulders, no hips. Like, I don't know. Like, there are plenty of women that can be, like, fairly ladylike in their own regard, but unfortunately this woman just pretty much no way, no how was she ever going to show any level of hip. Which made her look... I feel like a dick for saying any of this. The Illuminati called. They want their super soldier back. Yep. Yeah. For anybody that didn't hear that's watching this live, face cam on Not Catter Day, probably tomorrow. I've already got it set up, but I'm not doing it tonight because tonight's not enough of an event. Tonight is casual stream, and I don't even... you know what I probably should have done? I should probably, like, enable a test recording or something so I can even see what my face looks like as part of all of this. But I'm just going to assume that I make fancy enough faces that people will be interested along the way. Yeah, fucking ghosts! Alright, we should probably just speed up. What's my strength at? It's almost at 300. Oh, I don't actually remember what my maximum stats were on the last ridiculous run. Hey, Srice, how's it going? The world is coming to an end. Alright, so I was asked, I think I've kind of talked about this before, but what is my background? I mean, education-wise, I've got a bachelor's degree in illustration, oddly enough. Let's see. It's okay, to go back to the face thing. It's more... Face cam's only useful if you've got a... Yep. Face cam's only useful if you actually show facial expressions in any way, shape, or form. And I'm sure some amount of it I'm gonna have to, like, train myself to be more expressive. Because unfortunately, I get the feeling that I could have just, like, totally the most bored-looking face at all times. But I think I'm fine, especially when I'm talking in excess. But, like, I have seen just... I don't know, whenever I look at Twitch, and this is part of the reason why I never actually subscribed to the idea of getting a face cam, up until I saw, like, the really high-end professional one for 50 bucks instead of, you know, 100. Seriously, if there's ever something I'm on the wall about, and then it's, like, much cheaper than usual, I have trouble not buying it. I am a sale hound of sale hounds. But, like, whenever I look at Twitch channels, and maybe this is part of the reason why I don't watch Twitch channels, is because it always feels like the face cam is kind of an afterthought. It's like, well, you gotta have face cam, otherwise it's not a Twitch stream, or you know, it's not a good Twitch stream. Oh, that was interesting, but so you see just legions of these bored-looking people playing video games. And it just feels like such a bad... I don't know, it just feels like such a bad level of production. Like, even some of the larger YouTubers do this, and it's just like, I don't want it... Or YouTubers, Twitch streamers, whatever. And, I don't know, I didn't want to be associated with that kind of look and feel. Because, I don't want to have any part of what I do low quality. Let's see. Only reason why I dislike watching your stream is the ADHD aspects. I start a conversation, like to hear, and then I drift off. Oh, that was bad before completing what I was talking about. Or forgetting. Yeah. Okay, so. Let's roll back. Background. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the ADHD comes from the fact that I'm responding to people. I'm not even gonna truck with that. Honestly, at this point, we can pretty much never scum again and be totally fine. I'm just doing it for the ridiculous factor. Because I think at this point, I actually one-shot everything. Except for bosses, which is kind of the consideration, but still. But so, what is my background? Because I think that's the thing I was supposed to be continuing with. So background. I've got a bachelor's in illustration. And honestly, if anybody watching this ever wants me to, like, finish a thought, either live, that I've, like, since forgotten, or after the fact, you know, on YouTube, and I didn't finish it, just ask me. Remind me exactly what the topic was, because, honestly, I am forgetful. I am actually incredibly forgetful. It's kind of bad. But, just ask me, and I can either type it out or go back to the topic now that I, you know, get back on track, or kind of close things out. Oh, night, Wally. But so, background, seeing as that was asked, like, minutes ago, and I'm trying to roll through all the topics being asked along the way. My background is in illustration. I wanted to be a concept artist along the way. Actually, no. Let's roll back. I'm not really going to talk about high school, because there's not much background that you can really talk about, apart from just being like, yep, high school. I didn't do much during high school. I played a lot of World of Warcraft. I guess that's possibly where a lot of this, like, my YouTube habits come from. Especially, like, the collaborative stuff. Because, God, I love doing, like, 5-man dungeons with a group of friends. But so, background is, I mean, white, middle class. I'm 5'10". I don't know. It's like, that's the physical aspects of it. I might be 5'11". I have no idea. I have not actually checked my height in, like, a decade. I pretty much just grew, and that was it. But, so I went to college in New York, Western New York, for illustration, and it wasn't a, like, it wasn't like a game art school. It was actually more like traditional illustration style, so, like, the kind of stuff you'd see in the New Yorker magazine? It is the New Yorker, right? I think it is. But so that kind of stuff was taught there. Also a couple of, like, graphic design type stuff. And the problem is, like, my program is a bit of, like, a background thing. So I'm, like, 90% self-taught with the direction of a professor here and there. I think they always got a little bit sick of me because I did not care about half of the assignments, so I just kind of did whatever the hell I wanted. Which is kind of nice, actually. I like that. But so I went to school, illustration, 4 years, no stopping. I was a very dedicated student. In fact, some part of my impetus for doing YouTube was because I wanted to finish all the games that I was not able to play in college. Because in college, there was like a 2-year period that I played nothing. And that was, actually, I mean, it was fairly fun being a workaholic like that. But you graduate from college and you're like, hey, you know, I got some free time now, let's play some games. Playing games by yourself is lonely. I want to play Gmod with people. Well, let's just become a YouTuber. Call it a day. Oh, he managed to steal my money. Holy crap, he stole, like, a lot of money from me. I think that was, like, 1,000 or so, which is kind of ridiculous. Blonde or brunette? Yes? It's kind of a bit of a both. My dad has black hair, my mom has, like, sandy blonde. So I kind of ended up with the slightly darker sandy blonde. Let's see. Would Shell let me get purple hair, like in college? Probably, yeah. Or at least she probably wouldn't say no to... She wouldn't say no that enthusiastically. She'd probably be like, please no, and I would be like, no, it's happening. She'd be like, fine. Then again, she wants to have purple hair at some point, so I think I have a fair amount of leverage there.